Hi everybody, this is your host Crystal, and this is another edition of the 9 o'clock Meltdown podcast, and over Facebook video I have the wonderful and talented Ryan Van Slooten. Hello, sir!
Hello!
Hello! I've had you on the show in the past. You're a very well-seasoned musician. You've got a lot of things to talk about in your music. Your music it goes from being upbeat and positive to like, hey, here's a heartbreak that I went through, but here's the other side of it.
It's very moody. It's very moody.
Yes, very moody, but I love it. I think one of my favorite songs of yours is The Cure. I absolutely love that song. I know it's an older song, but yeah,
that's one of my favorites, especially to play live. It's just got a really fun kind of groove to it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So Ryan, you are in the middle of remodeling your bathroom in your house.
Yeah.
So you were just telling me that you were literally running to our interview. Yes. I think
like 2 minutes before you called, I turned the water back on, and I'm like, it wasn't leaking when I went up there, so it's all good. So I'm hoping when I go back up there, everything is still should be okay. I pretty much know what I'm doing.
Good. Isn't that what life is about? Kind of knowing what you're doing?
Hey, if you can get to that point, you're doing pretty well.
Yes, fabulous. Ryan, let's, besides being a handyman around the house, let's jump into your artistry here. You've got a couple things cooking since last we talked. I'm a huge follower on your Instagram, and you started a exercise routine or jumped in with an exercise outfit?
Yeah, I'm very big into fitness, and primarily that was through Beachbody. They're a really great company. They're online. They have like an on-demand service, like what a Netflix would be for workout programs, and I started with that about 4 years ago. My wife was really into it, and so then she's like, you should really try this. I think you'd really like it. And I'm like, I wasn't totally against it. I was just like, I don't know, but I needed a change of pace from what I was doing, and so I jumped in and I started with P90, and then I jumped to P90X, and that changed my life forever. That was a really big deal when I started doing P90X. The program, Tony Horton specifically, he just really spoke to me. Up until that point, I didn't realize how much of exercise and fitness and nutrition and all this stuff is tied into mental health. It's a massive part of your mental health, and it was something I was not expecting to gain from. I'm just, I just want to stay in shape and it makes me feel good. I didn't realize all the other facets that come with it mentally, especially with P90X. It's a very challenging program, and to push your body and push your limits like that is not a test of you physically as much as it is mentally. And so that was a big surprise to me, and that's why it became such a huge part of my life, is because I started to get better mentally. And I mean, sure, yeah, you start to look better physically and muscles are cool and whatever, but the vanity part of it is a tiny little fraction of what it really is. There's a whole philosophy behind it and mindset, and it's gotten me into things like meditation, which has helped me a lot with when we're talking about my moody music. Meditation is a big deal for me to kind of just keep myself balanced. I just do like 5 to 10 minutes per day, and that was something I never thought I'd be doing. I never thought I'd be doing all these pull-ups, and I never thought that I'd be doing all these crazy things that I do with fitness. Then it's just really been a great thing to help me stay balanced and focused and just make me better for the people around me. So, and for myself,
yeah. So through Beachbody, can people do fitness with you? Are you kind of one of their spokespersons, or are you just a?
They have like a coach program that they do, and so I'm a Beachbody coach, and people can sign up with me as their coach. And I run a fitness group on Facebook called Inspire Fitness. It's not a huge group, there's maybe 30 people in it, and not everybody's active. Maybe a handful of people are really active and posting and engaging in conversation, but it's been really cool to watch people that their only connection is through me in that group. That people that are friends with our daughters, for instance, there's a mom, and she became friends with my sister-in-law. They've gone back and forth a lot on there, and I gotta get my dog from eating some Uno cards. And so they've kind of connected, and it's been really fun to watch these people who wouldn't have otherwise ever crossed paths, most likely, engage in something that's really important to them and meaningful. And that's been really a great thing about being a coach, is just one of the hardest things to get people to do is to get motivated and exercise. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do for yourself, much less to convince somebody else to go do it. So it's been really fun, and there's only so much I can do as a coach. You know, it's that you need a horse to water, but you can't make them drink thing. You know, you have to do it for you, and you have to understand why you're doing it. And if the only reason is because I want to have six-pack and look good at the beach, like, that's not going to cut it. That's not a successful strategy. So that group is kind of a way for me to show people that there's so much more to this.
Right. And actually, that's something I can attest to myself when I was doing aerial cardio, not aerial yoga, because I don't do flips and tricks and stuff like that, but just using my body as my own kind of weights and things. I used to do it, religiously once a week for a half hour. And I found that I could actually lift things. I've got a smaller stature, but I could lift things, and I just felt healthier, and even my mind felt more clear. And then, lo and behold, I moved in with my boyfriend, now husband, and that kind of fell to the wayside.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. And I've just kind of found myself a little bit more sluggish, a little bit more kind of foggy in my brain, and I came to the conclusion the other day that I needed to start working out again. So now it's a matter.
With the working out, part of that mental aspect is every time that you exercise, and it doesn't have to be like some crazy cardio, you're doing pull-ups and doing all kinds of crazy things, just moving your body. I mean, it needs to be more than just like probably a walk. A walk is really good for you too. I'm not saying that, but like rigorous exercise, rigorous exercise, you release all those wonderful chemicals in your body that are already there, serotonin, and I can't think right now. I'm still in plumbing mode, but
it's all right.
A lot of really dopamine, serotonin. The endorphins in your body, all these things release at once, and I can't think of a single time in all the years I've worked out that I have not felt 100 times better afterwards because of your body's just natural response to physical movement and activity.
Right.
And if you do that regularly, having muscle helps in a lot of situations that you don't normally think about. It's just like, for me, the biggest reason I do it is because I want to feel good, keep myself mentally stable, because I do have some issues with depression and some anxiety. So it's a big deal for me to stay balanced with my workouts and everything. It's also because I have two daughters, and I want to be active. I don't want to. I'm 42 right now, and I don't want to go into my 50s and 60s being stagnant, and just I want to be moving and have an active life. I want to be a participant in my kids' lives as they're getting older. I want to, I don't want to watch them just play softball. I want to go play softball with them. I don't want to watch them ride bike. I want to ride bike with them. So, and that's been great. I can do and keep up with everything they're doing, and that's a huge benefit, taking care of yourself. And even just going to the store, like buying that toilet, being able to move that toilet around and not need help is a nice thing.
Yeah. I was going to say, now you have a practical side of it. You can move a toilet and remodel a bathroom.
You have the physical ability to do those things. And, I know a lot of people who don't exercise. And, it's hard to watch people like, man, I wish you could get, it has to be a decision that somebody makes for themselves to do. And I see people, and I just wish for them to do more for themselves, just because you don't know what you're missing out on in life until it's too late, and I feel a lot of people get into their 30s and 40s and say, oh man, I'm past my prime, and I'm just getting old. I hear that way too often. People are, we're getting old. We're so old. Like, you're 40. You're not that old. 40 is not old. I'm sorry to tell you, it's not. That's 40. Saying you're 40 and old is an excuse. Like, come on, man. Like,
right.
We're not that old.
No.
You can do a lot of things for a long time. So get to it. Don't be afraid of it. And don't judge it. Get to it and take care of yourself. It's worth it. Right.
So Ryan, besides being with Beachbody and having a beach body, might I add, you've also done some more music on that side of things.
Yeah.
But I also found on Instagram you've started a studio project.
Yeah, well, I've always recorded, except for when you were talking about The Cure. That album I recorded at Sacred Heart in Duluth. But everything since then I recorded myself at home. And I've been kind of quietly building a home studio for about the past, I probably started in 2014 or 2015. And moved a lot of gear in and out of this house trying to find the right combinations of things that work for me, that I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to throw at a studio.
Right.
But with the way technology is today, if you're smart and you do a lot of research and you really focus in on what your needs are, you can make a really good home studio for yourself. And that's what I've done. It's been a lot of trial and error. I gotta grab something for my dog again. She's only 10 months old. She's very busy.
Oh, but, what a cutie.
Yeah, so I put a studio together and I started recording my own music. Because I've been recording my own music for probably 15 plus years, but I took it really seriously when I started this studio for the reasons that, I have a family and going into a studio takes a lot of time, takes a lot of expense. If you're paying a studio and going to record, you don't have a lot of time to experiment with different sounds and ideas when you are on a very tight budget. My dog is just insistent on you don't have the time and the money to spend in the studio for and ever. So I just wanted the freedom to work when I can and be able to experiment, not be so concerned about the money part of it all the time. And it's just something I'm super fascinated in, and I love the studio environment, so I wanted to just do it myself. It wasn't until like last winter, after last year just blew up my entire music life, that I decided that I wanted to open that to the public and how I don't do so much recording here because it is my house. There's people here. So it's not like that. I do more mixing and mastering of recorded material. I could do some recording, but it'd be pretty minimal. I record my own projects is fine, but having bands come in and out of here would be too much. So just focus on the mixing and mastering part. There's plenty of need for that because there's a lot of people out there recording their own stuff, but the mixing and mastering is where it gets complicated, and you need somebody with some experience. So yeah, it's called Off Avenue Production, and I'm really excited about it. I hope I can turn it into something. It's what I would like to do for the rest of my life. I really do love that work. So
awesome. So Off Avenue. Yes, sorry about that. Off Avenue Productions. Absolutely fabulous. How did you come up with the name? Do you live off an avenue?
Yeah, kind of. I actually it took me a long time to come up with a name. It's like coming up with a band name, and it's just the worst. You don't like anything you come up with. Most band names are terrible, and so I'm like, I gotta have something decent, and I don't know why. I think I just thought I like the word avenue. It sounds studio-like, and I'm like, well, I live off an avenue. I'm like, off avenue? That could work. And so then I just kind of went with it, and it stuck. It's as good as it's gonna get. So I like it. I think it works.
Yeah, I like it. It's got a nice ring, and it's catchy.
Yeah, I think it works. I think I did okay with that name. I've not been good with naming other projects, so I think I maybe got that right.
Yeah. And now, Ryan, you're down in Minneapolis, and I've talked to a lot of artists down in Minneapolis that are doing their own thing, doing kind of the DIY project. You're not the only one that I've heard that has a full-on studio in their house.
Yeah.
However, you and one other guy that I know kind of hit the mastering side of things. I guess, why the transition from, being a recording artist into a mastering artist? Is it just something that you kind of gradually went to, or have you always kind of had a niche for that?
I guess with the recording thing, I mean, I love recording my stuff, and I have a couple other band projects that I'm involved in that I'm pretty excited about. I have a band called Ralph, which is a very complicated band because we live all over the country. And so we came together and recorded it at my house a couple of years ago, and that was super fun. And we tracked an entire EP over a weekend, which was crazy. We wrote, recorded, and tracked it in a weekend. That was pretty unheard of. It was really a fun thing to do. So the recording part is really, really fun, but for what my studio's purposes are and what I'm limited to by not being able to bring in other projects, I can do my own here and I can kick my family out of the house for a weekend. But having bands in here all the time, that's not going to fly. So I just had to focus my energy and interest on specifically mixing and mastering, because that's something nobody needs to be here for necessarily. So, if somebody wants to come listen to a mix that's local, they can certainly do that. Much easier than it is to have a band coming in here with gear and all that. So I just focus on those two areas because it's something I can do a little bit, workflow wise. It works a little better for me. That's really where my interest is anyways. I'm more into taking what somebody's done and polishing it and creating it into a finished product.
Wonderful, Ryan. That's absolutely awesome to hear. Do you have a certain genre that you go after, or is it anybody and everybody?
I'm not really into hip-hop and rap and EDM kind of stuff. It's, to each their own. It's not my kind of music. I just don't vibe with it, so I would be the completely wrong person to work on that style of music. It's just, I focus more on like rock bands, singer-songwriters, folk, woodwork. I can do country. It's kind of the same thing as rock. These days, it's mostly a lot of crossover to rock and pop with country. So pretty much work on anything, just not anything that's more electronic or rap. I maybe do it, but I just wouldn't be a good fit for it, really.
Right. It's not completely your forte, because it's not the music that you do.
I wouldn't, because even as a mixer, even when somebody sends you just their music to be mixed and mastered, you have to have some kind of connection and feel for it. You can't just look at. I could mix a rap song or rap album, but it just wouldn't be as good as somebody who's really familiar with rap. And it's there. You have to have some kind of connection and understanding of the feel of that genre of music. And I'm just kind of old school. I'm kind of a classic rocker, I guess. I'm a dying breed, I suppose. But I can mix your metal band. I can mix your rock band. I'm with it. I'm hip with the kids. I can mix anything. You send me, I'll mix it. I like working with bands. That's that kind of music that gets me excited. Is the energy of a band. Whether that energy is like my music, where it's very moody, high or low energy. I mixed a song for a girl that I met at a songwriting camp. Name's Crystal Henninger. And she's a violin player and just has a beautiful singing voice, and she just did an excellent job. Her song comes out on June 2nd, I think. It's called Postcard, and that was a fun song to mix. It was very different. It was all strings and piano and ukulele and her voice. And that's just like the challenge with something like that is making it powerful but keeping that delicateness to it. And it just turned out amazing. We worked in collaboration on that. We went back and forth, a lot of different mixes with that, and we landed on a really, really good mix. So I'm excited to share that with people. It turned out really good.
Awesome, Ryan. Oh my gosh, that sounds absolutely fabulous and wonderful.
I think you'd really like the song. It's really good. So I'm excited for you to hear it.
Excellent. And see, now I have to wait. You're going to make me wait for it, aren't you?
I'm doing a build-up there.
All right.
You're welcome, Chris. That was a good little plug for her, and nice little build-up anticipation.
Yes, exactly. A nice little build-up for everyone, basically.
Yeah.
What was her name again? I'm sorry.
It's Crystal Henninger. Her first name is Crystal with a K, Krystle. And yeah, she's just really, really artistic and all around. She takes amazing photos, and she's a stage manager. She lives in New York, and so she's just got a really interesting, creative life, and just a super nice person. So hopefully I'll be mixing her full album. She wants to put out probably next year.
Okay.
She's got a little more time. She's got other things she's got to do right now, but I'm hoping we can do that album next year, because just working on that first song, that'll be a really fun thing to work on.
Yes. Oh, that sounds absolutely fabulous, Ryan. I can't wait. You're going to make me wait. But all right, I digress.
My choice. She's the artist. To me, I'd play it for you right now, but that's her call.
All right, fine. So, Ryan, with this kind of mixing and mastering, do people reach out to you? Do you reach out to them? How does that work for you?
Well, that's the tricky part. I mean, I'm just starting this business, and so getting the word out is extremely difficult. And the first, I know a few people, obviously, so I reached out to a few people. My first thing that I worked on was a guy I also met at that same songwriting camp. He's a comedian and songwriter in Australia. So my business was international right out of the gate. I mixed his song he's an Australian comedian. I mixed his first song for him, then I did some work on a second song for him, which was really, really fun. Working on his songs is great, because he's a super funny guy and super nice guy. He's awesome. So it was cool that those two stepped up. I did some free work for them, because I'm trying to get some work and some portfolio work under my belt beyond my own stuff. So I did stuff for free for them, and I'm still open to doing some free work, just to kind of helps me too to kind of get my workflow down and understand how long these things take, so I can kind of streamline that. I'm on air gigs as well. I have my website all published. I'm really proud of that website. Turned out well beyond what my expectations were. I worked really hard to build that, and it turned out really good. So now it's just a matter of getting traffic to it, which is tough. Facebook ads are, those are tough to work with, and they're happy to take your money. They're not happy to really help you target who you need to target, and so it's tricky. Word of mouth is really important. Well,
Ryan, if you need any help with Facebook ads and stuff like that, my previous career, probably about 3 weeks ago, that's what I did. So, so I'd be glad to help you out in that regard.
Any advice you have? I took like a course on a couple different courses on Facebook ads, because it is really important to know what you're doing there. But it's just kind of hard, because when I put Facebook ads out there, I'm like, people that are interested in audio mixing and audio mastering. Well, does that mean people like me that do mixing and mastering are interested in it, or people that are looking for it? So there's like this crossover there where it's like, I don't know who I'm targeting. I think I'm just targeting other mixing and mastering engineers.
Cast a wider net.
And then if you cast it too wide, then who the hell knows who's seeing it? Like, I can't just put in musician. I want to target people that are interested in musician. Well, that's everybody. So it needs to be a little more focused than that. But it gets crazy with Facebook, and there's this awful little feeling that you get when you hit that publish ad. That's like, I'm going to give these people money. How? Why do I have to do this? But that's the world that we kind of live in. It's a pay to play. It's this wonderful tool to have. It's definitely an awesome thing to have. It's just, you feel like you need to take a shower after you publish ads and give them actual money. It's just like, oh God, I can't believe I just gave them money. Wow. But I mean, you have to do it. And then, like I said, it's a wonderful tool, but there's just things about it that you have to know to make it really work for you. So word of mouth is huge, and getting work. If I can get more work in, then those people will tell other people, and it just takes some time to build. And I'm only about 5 or 6 months in, so you just gotta be patient, which is hard to do it when things are really tight. And I'm starting to book some shows again, but they're slow to come in, and there's not a lot of them, so it's it's a process here.
Right. Ryan, do you have any new music out? Did you do any of your own music during the kind of lockdown and the pandemic?
I thought when we first went into quarantine last April, or March or April, whatever it was, who remembers anymore. But,
yeah, I know.
When I went into that, I'm like, oh man, all this downtime. I'm like, I'm going to get so much recording done. I'm going to have my album done finally by the end of this year. And it was completely opposite of that. What I had such a hard time being creative at all. There was just so much going on last year. There was just no headspace left for creativity, it seemed. The kids were struggling with the school shift, and my wife was working at home full time, and we're together all the time, all four of us in the house, and it got to be a lot for a while. And I talked to other musicians too who had the same kind of experience where I thought I was going to be so creative, and everything just shut down. And by August, then I got COVID, and my wife got COVID.
Oof.
And then everything just got so crazy. The back half of the year was bonkers, and then I became allergic to alcohol out of left field in October. And I don't know if that's a result of COVID, or if COVID just accelerated something, or if it just happened on its own. The whole last year, I think I wrote 2 songs. And we also had to say goodbye to our dog in May last year, so there was just a lot of stuff. I wrote 1 song last year. I wrote it right around the day before we had to put our dog down. I just needed a break from thinking about that, because it was just one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever done in my life. It was horrible. But that day before, I just needed a mental break from thinking about what we had to do, and I wrote the song Angry Voices that I released last year. And it has nothing to do with the dog. It was I wanted to concentrate on something completely separate from that experience. So that was the one song that came out of it, and I really like that song. And so I released that one, and then this year now it's all started coming back. Now that things are starting to get more normal, my creativity has started coming back. I'm writing more songs now, I'm recording. I'm finally really digging and finishing my album, which I'm excited about. Probably won't be out until later this year, maybe early next year, because there's a lot of pieces to figure out, but I'm just happy to be back working on it. I hoped it'd been out by now, but last year just completely turned my world upside down. So I'm happy that I'm getting back to a place where I feel more like myself, because it's been a long time since I've felt that way. Last year was hard on everybody, and I definitely am feeling all of that. So I'm happy to be getting back and feeling like me again.
Ryan, that's wonderful news that you're kind of getting back on track. And, I've talked to a lot of people kind of through the pandemic, and myself included, during the lockdown, I was lucky enough to still have my job, so things kind of remained normal for me in that regard. But, yeah, there was just this gray cloud over everyone. Not just one person to another person, but everybody. Everything was shut down. A ton of people lost their jobs. It was a crazy time. And then to mention politically, America was up in arms. I still think we're a little up in arms, especially with the social climate that we've got going on. Did that kind of transfer into your music at all?
No, I always am kind of torn when it comes to writing. Angry Voices was, I don't want to say it's politically charged song. It was more a socially charged song. That song was definitely written amongst the turmoil last year. The lyrics were all about people just being angry and just being misinformed and just believing things they shouldn't be believing. And the song is Angry Voice, basically I don't want mine to be another angry voice, because I was getting so swallowed up in all of that stuff
Right.
And I would go on Facebook and I would see all these same things. I had to start blocking people that were bringing such negativity into my newsfeed because it was such a dark presence in my life. It was bringing me so much, my newsfeed, when I took those people out, I'm like, I can't jump on here. I have to go on Facebook to do things every day. It's kind of part of the job. So, like, what I see on there is mostly these days, it's all stuff related to fitness. It's positive people talking about fitness. Like, negativity is not welcome or accepted on any of those pages. So all you see is a bunch of happy people working out. It's great. I follow some music groups that are really funny and informative. So my newsfeed is with good stuff. So your experience is based on, how you tailor it. But Angry Voices was definitely a song about I need to separate myself from some of this stuff. And I will decide when I'm going to engage in what's going on with all these social issues and when, because I know a lot of people that just live in it all night, and it's such a toxic way to live. And you need to know what's going on. You need to be involved in some way. You need to be aware and keep yourself properly educated on what's going on. But there's a point where you also have to take care of yourself mentally. And that's, again, where exercise, working out, is an escape from that. It's a way to release those feel-good chemicals. Being creative, making music, is a way to get away and express yourself in any number of ways to get away from all that stuff. And last year was way too easy to get swallowed up in. I saw a lot of people on both sides do it, not just any one side. It goes both ways, that you can get totally obsessed and swallowed up in all of the negativity. And so I try to separate as much as I can and still be a well-informed, socially responsible person as much as you can. I mean, there's only so much you can do, but you gotta make the effort and still keep your mental state in a place that you can still be happy.
Right. I can attest to that too. Like I said previously, I was paid to basically monitor Facebook for a company in town. And, it got to the point where I almost thought of deleting my Facebook, but then realizing that I've got a ton of musician friends and a lot of people from around the world that I keep in contact with through Facebook. So it was really a toss-up for me. For a while there, it got very negative and very dark. And I think people used Facebook, the social outlet, to, push their opinions or their agenda or whatever, their forte was. But no, I can attest to that of, trying to keep yourself out of the soup and keep yourself positive.
And also, when I would see what you're talking about there with people putting that stuff out there too, I tried with some people that, were really close to me and stuff. Like, I also tried to be in a place of understanding, and that this is a place where people go to vent frustration. And so it's like, am I reading something that people are just posting nonsense just to post and just add to the noise? Or is there some substance of this that they are genuinely frustrated, trying to understand where they're coming from? Most of it was just toxic nonsense that's just adding to the noise. But, there are certain things about it. It's like, well, I'm seeing all this negative stuff, but I wouldn't put that stuff out there. So why would this person that I know so well be doing it? Like, there's obviously something behind it. It's like, I hope they're doing okay. And, it's last year was just crazy all the way around. And it's tough. You can still, definitely, like you were saying, even this year, we're definitely a long ways from being all the way through. There's a lot of things we all need to work through to get back to normal, whatever normal really ever was. I think we all just want to have some kind of peace and some kind of balance, but you also got to kind of find that for yourself, because
Right.
the world is always going to be crazy. You have to take control of some of these situations, and that's why, again, I say that the working out stuff, the exercise stuff, I would say it's 80% mental health, 20% physical. It really, really is the difference, because there are days, I like to do a lot of karate MMX style workouts, and when you're frustrated and things are getting crazy, there's nothing better than kicking and punching and moving your body around, and you feel great afterwards. Like, take that frustration and put it into something productive, put it into something constructive that will make you better, instead of just going on Facebook and just spewing out all the same regurgitated stuff, oh man, I don't know how people do it.
Right, I can attest to that too, Ryan. I don't know how people do it either, so so I'm with you on that one.
You don't get anything good back out of it, so
right. Yeah, I don't get it either. But Ryan, if somebody's interested in joining Beachbody or joining you on your workout journey, how can they do that?
Just send me a message. You can Facebook message me. I'm always on there. My group is on Facebook. It's not a public group, because I want to a public group is just a nightmare on Facebook. So it's a private group. You'd have to ask to join. But if I know you in some way, shape, or form, and I'm happy to have those people in there, even if it's not part of Beachbody, it's really just a place to get motivated. Not everybody does Beachbody exclusively in that group. We all kind of have different interests. I do some Beachbody workouts these days. Right now, Tony Horton is something of a friend of mine now, I guess you could say. We know each other fairly well. But he's got a new program that's in the beta testing portion of things. He's going to be filming the final version later this summer. And so I've been doing that. So it's not always just Beachbody. I'm not hardcore about it. I don't personal message anybody. I'm not one of those coaches. It's kind of like, you see what I'm doing. If you're interested, you come to me, and I'll help you get started, type of thing.
Okay, fabulous.
I'm not pushy about it at all, because I know that works for some people, but that's just not my style, and I don't want to push it on people. When you're ready, you're ready. And I'm ready when you're ready. So, you come to me when you want to do this, and I'll tell you all about it. And yeah, I love Beachbody. It is great, though. It changed my life completely, and has made me a better person, no doubt about it. And that's due in large part to Tony Horton and his philosophies, and like that. That was an eye opener. And it all. The thing is, the other thing about working out is it works hand in hand. The working out ties into my music too. I'm more motivated to do music because I feel good. I'm always trying to keep myself active as much as I can. And so working out, you need to have energy to do music and keep your mind clear. And working out, absolutely, those two things are hand in hand with being creative and being involved in your life. So I think a lot of people they don't think about that. Like, oh man, working out is so much work, but it's going to make all areas of your life better, not just one.
Right. And like I said earlier, I can attest to that myself. When I was working out, religiously, I felt a lot better. My brain didn't feel muddled. So I totally understand, and I can totally attest to that. Ryan, if somebody's interested in reaching out to you for your mixing and mastering and your studio work, how can they do that?
Best way is to go on my website, which is offavenueproduction.com, or you can email me at offavenueproduction@gmail.com. It's a good way to reach me for anything. You can Off Avenue Production for working out, for mixing and mastering. That's a good email just to say hi, or Facebook Messenger. It's a good way too. I'm on Instagram. Not set up Twitter for my production company because I see no real value or need in it right now. So just on Instagram and Facebook for now.
All right. Sounds great, Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much for taking time out of your
thank you so
busy
much. I
Sunday.
appreciate it.
Of course, and I wish you luck with the music. You've got
I'm gonna need it. Thanks.
you've got a lot of amazing things going on right now. I wish you luck with the Beachbody. Not that you need it right now, but
Yeah, well,
hopefully it grows for you in the future. And this will not be our last conversation, sir. Thank you so much.
I love talking to you. So thanks so much for reaching out. I really appreciate it.
Of course, Ryan. Have a wonderful day and good luck with your bathroom.
Yeah, oh God, yes, I'm gonna need it there too. I got a long day ahead of me.
All right.
This is the best part of my day right now, most likely. So
Good. I'm glad you got to sit down for a little bit at least.
Yeah, exactly. I needed it. It was a good time for this. So
All right.
Good work.
All right. Excellent. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
Bye.
Another goddamn day of all the same things. Predictable, unchanging points of view. So meaningless to compound the frustrations by blocking every point the light gets through. 'Cause nothing is so black and white. It's always in the gray. Blur the line between wrong and right. It won't justify the need, you see. I just wanna get away from it all. Try to clip my wings just to watch me fall, but I'm not coming down till I know for sure I won't be buried by the sound of all these angry voices. When one of them is mine. Nothing's gained through drawn out conversations when the art of listening is all but dead. So desperate